Welcome to episode 4.2, where we continue our exploration of the end of the Cold War. In the last episode, we saw how students sometimes make the mistake of linking their explanations to the collapse of the USSR instead of the end of the Cold War itself. We also looked at how stronger answers use better evidence and clearer explanations that show an understanding of how tensions between the superpowers actually eased. In this episode, we will look at other factors that led to the end of the Cold War, especially the changing relationship between the two superpowers. Remember, for decades, the Cold War was defined by hostility and zero trust. So when the superpowers stopped competing, that marked a huge turning point. Let's start with Ronald Reagan. Early in his presidency, Reagan took a hardline stance against the Soviets. He increased military spending, announced the Strategic Defense Initiative, and even stationed US nuclear weapons in the United Kingdom. But when Gorbachev came to power, Reagan saw a genuine opportunity for change. He began to pursue diplomacy instead of confrontation, and both leaders worked together to sign the INF Treaty, a major step towards nuclear disarmament. Reagan's shift from confrontation to cooperation helped thaw relations and build trust, a decisive move towards ending the Cold War. At the same time, Gorbachev's leadership played an equally critical role. He recognized that the USSR could no longer keep up with the US militarily or economically. So he reduced arms spending, withdrew Soviet troops from Afghanistan, and chose cooperation over conflict. He also introduced the Sinatra Doctrine, jokingly named after the song My Way, signaling that Eastern European countries could now decide their own paths. All these actions eased tensions with the West and also weakened Soviet control in Eastern Europe. If you recall, Soviet control in Eastern Europe is one of the core features that sustained the Cold War for decades. So both Reagan and Gorbachev transformed the Cold War from confrontation to conversation, paving the way for its end. Here's a sample paragraph on how Gorbachev's leadership led to the end of the Cold War. When Gorbachev became leader, he recognized that the Soviets could not outspend the United States. Hence, he cut arms spending, withdrew troops from Afghanistan, and also introduced the Sinatra Doctrine. These actions eased tensions, reduced Soviet control in Eastern Europe, and contributed to the end of the Cold War. That's the end of the episode. I hope you now have a clearer understanding of the factors and leadership decisions that shaped the end of the Cold War.